Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those that are new here, my name is Remi, and in today's video I'll be taking you guys through my spousal visa application process, everything my husband and I did, all the documents we submitted to ensure we submitted the best application we could. And yes, we got a positive result, so I think we must have done some things right. So let's get right into this video. Background story: the same year I applied for my spousal visa, I got two visa rejections. So the first one was a visitor's visa application to the UK about 6 months earlier that got rejected. And the second one was a Swedish visa application to go to Sweden, of course, to attend a wedding with my husband that also got rejected. So when it was time to submit this application, guys, my anxiety levels were up here because it was like, nah, this time it has to be good because the UK spousal visa isn't cheap, and we just wanted to make sure that if we were going ahead to submit this, we had the best chance possible to getting a yes, and we got that. So there are several requirements you need when applying for UK spousal visa, but the first one, which is not even a requirement, it's like a necessity. Well, yeah, I guess that's a requirement, but one person, your spouse, has to be in the UK, has to be living in the UK and have the right to actually bring you to join them. So the person has to either be a British citizen, have a settled status, or there are other refugee or humanitarian protection status. I don't know much about that, so I'm not going to be going into that. Well, basically the person has to be settled in the UK and have the legal right to bring their spouse to join them. And before we go ahead with the other requirements, I would advise you go to the gov.uk site to read extensively everything written there about the family visas, because the rules change so quickly, and with the COVID situation this year, I'm sure a lot of rules have been updated or have changed. So you should totally go through the gov.uk website and read everything and make sure you have all the important details and information. Now onto the requirements. So I'm going to list the requirements and tell you guys the documents my husband and I provided to prove these requirements. So the first one is the relationship requirement or family requirement, and this is basically proving that you are in a relationship with this person and the purpose of this marriage isn't just for a visa. So for this, you want to build, take them through your relationship and show them that this relationship is a genuine and loving relationship. So for that, I take pictures. I love to take pictures, and my husband was always squeezing his face. And when it was time for this application, I'm like, you see, all those pictures I used to take, well, now they've come in handy. So I built like a PDF document, guys, with so I used Word and built like 4 pictures on each page, on each, A4 paper page, and basically labeled the pictures. So I started like from when we first met, pictures of us with family, pictures of us with friends, pictures of us on vacation, pictures of us attending events. So you don't just want to snap pictures of just the both of you in like isolated places. You need to show that you guys are actually in a recognized relationship. So by putting pictures of us with family and pictures of us with friends, it's like this is a relationship that a lot of people recognize and a lot of people know about, and it is actually a relationship that we are proud to show everyone and tell everyone about. Basically, I put like pictures of us together, pictures of us at a wedding, pictures of us at my birthday with his dad and his sister, pictures of us with friends. I think one time I was in Lagos and we snapped pictures with his friends. So basically just put pictures, and then I think I had like so many pages of pictures because I take so many pictures, and I also dated the pictures. So like 2018 February, 2018 April, 2018. So I dated the pictures, and I also created something similar, a similar document, but this time with messages. So I screenshot messages from like as early as 2 years back or 1.5 years back, because we didn't have a very long relationship. So we met 2018 April, and this application was done in 2019 November. We got married 2019 July. So I put like basically messages for like a year's worth of messages, and I made sure the dates showed. So I don't delete my messages, so I screenshot all WhatsApp messages, emails, Instagram messages, basically just messages of us talking, messages of us planning the wedding, messages of us talking about wedding related things and important things to show that this is actually a serious and genuine relationship. So I did the same thing, dated the messages and created like a timeline, that they could follow and sort of see how the relationship progressed. Yeah, but obviously you don't want to put like too in like you don't want to put messages that are too intimate or messages that you want to keep private, but just show enough to make sure they know that this is a genuine relationship. Then we also put pictures of like my husband's flight bookings to Nigeria, his visa stamps, like he coming to visit me, holiday bookings of when we went to Ghana, we booked the hotel in both our names, so we put that there. Put pictures of us in Ghana, gift receipts of gifts we had gotten for each other, wedding band receipts, engagement gift receipts. So those were the things we submitted to prove our relationship, to fulfill the relationship slash family requirement. Now the next requirement is the English language requirement, and there are two routes to proving this. You can either go the NARIC route or the certification route. So I went the NARIC route, so I won't be able to say much about the certification route, but for that you basically need to take a test to prove that you are proficient in English language. So for the NARIC route, you need to submit your certificate, which in my case was a BSc certificate, transcript, and also a letter from my school stating that the medium of instruction was English. That means I was taught in English. So I sent all this to NARIC online. It's not like I had to post it, just submitted this online, and I paid £140. I think it took about 2 weeks and they sent it back to me, but bear in mind they sent it back via post, and we all know how the postal service in Nigeria can be. Like a month after they said this document had arrived in the country, I still had not gotten it, and I had to go through a lot of merry-go-rounding to get that document. Apparently it was just abandoned in the post office somewhere, but thankfully I was able to get it. So that cost me £140, and this is why you want to start early to plan your documents, so that basically you have all your documents by the time you're ready to submit your application. So the third requirement is the financial requirement, and this is basically to prove that your husband is actually financially allowed to sponsor you to come join him. So to have a spouse join you, you need to have either 16,000 of cash savings made in the UK. So I was working in Nigeria, my husband was working in the UK. I couldn't take money I had earned in Nigeria and use it as proof. No, it has to be money earned in the UK, or that you are working and earning at least 18,600 per year annual salary. So for this, we went the working route, because my husband was working, is working, and we we submitted pay slips, 6 months of pay slips, a letter from his employee stating that his employer, not employee, a letter from his employer stating that this person is an employee of our company and he has been working with us for so number of years and is on a permanent or temporary contract, and the pay slips he has provided are genuine. So for example, let's say Remi Junaid, working with Remi Junaid Apparel, a letter from HR Remi Junaid Apparel saying that Remi Junaid is an employee of Remi Junaid Apparel and she has been working with us for 2 years and she's on a permanent contract, and the pay slips she has provided are genuine, and this person is a staff of this company basically. So you can't just provide pay slips. That isn't enough. There has to be a letter certifying that these pay slips are actually genuine. And then we also provided bank statements of accounts over I think 3 or 6 months, and we made sure to provide statements of account that the salary comes into, showing consistent salary coming into this account over the past 3 or 6 months. We also provided the employment letter stating when he was employed and the kind of contract. And you guys, I know it's like, why am I getting a letter from the employer if I'm still going to provide my employment letter? But honestly, I think it's safe to have too much proof than not enough proof. And I also submitted my own statement of account, but I don't think this has so much impact on the decision making. But this was also a way to prove relationship, because in my statement of account, I highlighted parts where Tolu had sent me money in the past, maybe for wedding or for personal stuff, and basically just to show that, again, this is a genuine relationship. Then the fourth requirement is the accommodation requirement, and for this, it's to show that the person you're coming to stay with actually has room to accommodate and house you. I think those are the same thing. Basically, the person has enough room to accommodate you. So in my case, my husband was renting and his sister was staying with him at that time. So we got a letter from the property managers, a letter from his landlord, stating that we are aware Tolu is married and his wife is coming to join him, and we're okay with it. My sister-in-law wrote a letter stating that, she's aware I'm coming to join and she plans on moving out, and she's okay with all of the arrangements. And then we also submitted the council tax bill, which is like a utility bill to prove, that you're actually staying at this location. We submitted the tenancy agreement, and we also submitted statements of account, again showing, showing rent being paid over the past 3 or 6 months. I actually can't remember the exact number of months we submitted statements of accounts for, but it was definitely not less than 3 months and no more than 6 months. So we submitted statements of accounts showing rent being paid over the last 3 or 6 months. Then, depending on where you are staying, depending on the country you're applying from, well, I applied from Nigeria, so I needed a tuberculosis certificate to show that I do not have tuberculosis. And this, again, is one of the reasons you want to start planning early. So for the tuberculosis test, there is only one hospital in Lagos. I think there's another one in Abuja, but basically there's only one hospital in Lagos approved to do the test, and like you guys can guess, they are always like fully booked. So I remember sending them a mail on July 30th stating that, I need to do tuberculosis test for my visa application. And they responded telling me that the next available date was from July 22nd. So imagine if I had already done my application and I was given 2 weeks to submit all my documents. July 22nd was like almost a month away. So I did my application for July 26th because, again, I wasn't in a hurry. And bear in mind, the tuberculosis certificate is valid for 6 months. So once you have your tuberculosis certificate, you need to make sure that you submit your application pretty soon, so it can still be valid when you submit. Otherwise, you don't want a case where you have to do another tuberculosis test. Guys, these things, the money adds up, trust me. So I did my tuberculosis test on July 26th. It cost me 54,000 naira. And yeah, you need an international address, a local address, you need your passport, biodata page. Basically, they will tell you everything you need and everything you need to bring, and how to do the payment and all of that. When you send them an email, they will get back to you. I think it's best to send an email. I don't think they really pick up their calls, so just send an email and they'll get back to you. The next requirement is the sponsor evidence, which is basically showing that this person is actually legally allowed to be in the UK and is legally allowed to sponsor me, which is similar to what I talked about in the beginning. So for this, you just need to show maybe a biodata page or a permanent residence, or basically proof that this person is actually allowed to be in the UK and is settled in the UK. So in our case, my husband is a British citizen, so we submitted the biodata page to prove that, and his certificate of naturalization. So extra things that we submitted, I don't think these things are really necessary, but we submitted 2 cover letters. So one from my husband and one from me, basically just saying, talking about our relationship, talked a bit about how we met, and talked about, we're looking forward to living together and being together and building a family and blah 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 blah. And my husband wrote a letter saying how incomplete his life is without me and he needs me to come and stay with him. Well, obviously he did not say that, but you guys get the gist. We just I wrote a cover letter, he wrote a cover letter. I talked about my plans and I plan on getting a job when I come to the UK. Talked about my experiences. I have experience in sales and I love to sew. This is my hobby, and I hope to get a job in so industry when I get to the UK. And yeah, we submitted 2 cover letters. So now I'll go through the timeline. No, I'll go through the fees we paid. So you're going to be paying your visa fee, which I don't know how much it is right now. I don't know if the prices change, but you will get that on gov.uk. So read. You'll be paying an immigration health surcharge, which is a particular amount multiplied by the number of months your visa is supposed to be valid for. So the spousal visa is valid for 2.5 years, after which you renew for another 2.5 years, after which you can then get an indefinite leave to remain or apply for your British passport. So the immigration health surcharge fee you will multiply by 2.5 years, which is 30 months. Yeah, 30 months. So you pay an immigration health surcharge. You will pay your tuberculosis test fee. You will pay NARIC fee, or a certificate or a test, English language test fee if you are taking the English language test. And in my case, I also needed to pay a priority appointment fee, because when I submitted my application on October 30th, I was given 2 weeks to submit my documents and to go for my biometric appointment. And when I went on the TLS site to book a biometric appointment, guys, there were no free appointments for the next 2 weeks. So I had to pay for an appointment because I only had 2 weeks to submit everything. So I had to pay for a priority appointment, which cost about 50k or 40 something k. I can't remember now. But it was nice. I was attended to very quickly. There was tea, there was biscuits, and I made sure I ate. Because I'm like, after paying all this money, I'm going to eat my money's worth. Of course, I couldn't eat my money's worth, but I ate biscuits and I drank tea. Then, yes, I think those were the fees that we had to pay. And yeah, these fees add up. It adds up, guys. It does. Then the timeline. So like I said earlier, I submitted my application on the 30th of October. I submitted all my documents on the 7th of November. I went for my biometric testing on the 8th of November. When I got home that day, I got a mail saying that my application has been sent to the decision making center. And then on the 11th of November, I got another mail saying my application has been received and it will be worked on, and they aim to get to respond within 12 weeks. So I was like, okay, 3 months. This was November 8th, so I'll hear back from them by February. Anyway, I put it out of my mind. I went on with my life. I was planning my wedding party at the time. So my husband and I did our court wedding in July, and the wedding party was February 2020. Court wedding was July 2019. So all these applications were done in 2019. November 2019 was when I did my final biometric appointment. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'll hear back from them February 2020. And then I went on with my life, planning my wedding. I did not want to dwell on this visa application, so I did not even bother. Like, I think after that day I submitted, I never went back to track or see anything about where my visa application was at the moment, because there's a way to track to see, oh, maybe it's at the decision making center, maybe it has been decided upon. I did not even bother. Anyway, fast forward to 7th of January. I was at work doing my work, and I saw a mail notification, and I opened it and I saw that I can come and pick up my visa, my passport. And I'm like, wait, this is just 2 months. What is happening? I thought it takes 3 months. And guys, honestly, at that point, I thought that they had rejected me, because I'm like, okay, maybe they saw that there was no need to keep this long enough. They've already made up their mind and they had rejected me, and I was so nervous. I couldn't concentrate at work, so I left work, went home to pick up my what's that thing called again? Collection slip. And then, guys, I could not find my collection slip anywhere. Like, I searched the whole apartment, it was nowhere to be found. Anyway, I went there, asked them what I could do. They said I needed to swear affidavit and get a police report. I did all of that, and then I went back to pick up my passport. And I remember the first rejection I had when I picked up the passport the first time. I think I even went with my friend Diola. She has a YouTube channel as well, and she's now in the UK. You guys should definitely check out her channel. The first rejection I had, we went together to pick up that rejection slip, but we did not know it was going to be a rejection slip. But I remember she was waiting for me in the cab outside, and then when I came out, I saw that it was a rejection, and it's like, okay, no wahala. But anyway, it had a letter in the first rejection slip that I collected. So when I felt my passport, there was a letter inside, and I'm like, oh God, not again, no. Anyway, I opened it because of course I had no choice, and then I saw that the letter was actually a letter telling me everything I needed to do when I got to the UK to pick up my biometric passport, no, my BRP, biometric residence permit. I think that's what it's called. So that was what the letter was. The letter telling me everything I needed to do immediately I get to the UK to pick up my BRP and blah 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 blah. And guys, I was just like, oh my God. I remember calling my husband and I was just so excited. Like, finally, after 2 visa rejections, I got this, it was accepted. And yes, I traveled to the UK, I think end of January, and I basically just did like a week or so in the UK, because so they will give you 30 days whereby you needed to come pick up your BRP. So there will be like a vignette in your passport that is valid for 30 days. So you need to travel within 30 days to pick up your BRP. So yes, I traveled down quickly and traveled back in time for my brother's intro, which was February 2nd, and also for my wedding, which was February 22nd. So guys, that is it. Yeah, that's the entire process. So if you have any questions, just write down below. I will do my best to answer. I will do my best to help as much as I can, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.